They're just about to walk out on the stadium floor. Again, this is the final heat of the top athletes so far at the 2010 CrossFit Games. These are the athletes who are in 1st to 6th position.
Jessica Pamanian, Julie Fouché, Christy Phillips, Valerie McKenzie, Annie T, and Kristen Clever.
Not all 6 women had a smile on their face, Marty, and I think that smile will soon disappear when they find out.
Final women's heat of the 2010 CrossFit Games.
The smile is called denial or just naivete because they don't know what's ahead. It's been a fantastic weekend for them. They're ready for anything, and we're going to find out how they face this. At the end, they will be smiling too, but they have a lot to do before they get there.
Line. 3, 2, 1, go, and then you'll do 30 push-ups all the way down, hands release, all the way up. You can do them on any area of this floor. Once you complete 30 push-ups, you're gonna scale up and over the wall. On the other side of the wall, you're gonna do 21 overhead squats. Scale back up and over this wall. Once you get to that side, that's 1 round. It's 3 rounds. The time cap is 7 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go.
And they are off. Amongst these 6 women is Kristen Clever, who came into this event leading the women's competition, and Mike Workington had a chance to catch up with her. Mike Workington, of course, of the CrossFit Journal, but in talking to her, he just kind of found out that she thinks that an unknown WOD actually levels the playing field, and I'd have to agree with her, but she was super relaxed and totally easygoing in the warm-up area, and that's kind of been her approach the entire course of this competition.
Absolutely, and what we're looking at there, Jessica Pamanian is working still on that very hot tarmac, but as they get closer to that wall, they'll find there is almost no shade to be had. Annie Thorisdottir is first to the wall, and there's Kristen Clever right behind her, and Annie Thorisdottir first over the wall. Then they have to get to the other side, and let's see who's willing to jump. They both hit the ground, and they are off to their bar, directed to their bar, and now it's overhead squats. They have 21 of these to finish before they get the opportunity to go back over that wall. No rep for Annie. She was called no rep. She's got to open her hips at the top.
And that is definitely not what you want to hear, especially when the margins are going to be close. She needs all of the ground that she can gain to make a jump to catch Kristen Clever.
We have Julie Fouché. We were just watching her scramble over the wall. Christy Phillips right there working through her overhead squats, and right behind her was Valerie McKenzie Vogel. We also have
count, 2 rounds and 4 push-ups.
Kristen Clever. Jocking her hands up, she is the first back to the wall.
Looks like Kristen is the first one done with the overhead squat portion of this workout. So round 1 almost done. As soon as she can climb over this wall, she'll start in on her 30 push-ups, and that'll be round 2. There she is, touches the ground. She thinks she has to go back to the blue line, but she doesn't. She can do that at the bottom of the wall. Of course, there's no more shade any longer. The sun has advanced.
There's Annie Thorisdottir again coming over the top. She was a little bit slower on the overhead squats, and again, she had at least 1 rep taken away, and they can do those push-ups much closer, as you said.
But she is quick on the push-ups. She's keeping that body planked out. She has 4. Kristen Clever has to keep her body planked out too.
And it is a hot surface that they're working with. They're shaking their hands off.
There's Jessica Pamanian as she goes over the wall after completing her overhead portion of the workout.
Kristen takes back 15.
Oh, they are going neck and neck there, Marty.
Kristen 17.
This is precisely what you want to see. The 2 top athletes in the world, the 2 top athletes at these games going neck to neck with everything at stake here, and there are still, after this event, 2 more events yet to go over the course of the next 15 minutes or so.
And that is Valerie McKenzie Vogel that you see there in the green, right alongside lady in red, Christy Phillips.
Annie 26, Chris 26.
Wow, they are going neck and neck. They're just exchanging reps. 26 and 26 on the push-up portion. They're pretty close to reaching their quota of 30. And Annie stands up first.
And he stands up first, and there's Kristen Clever. They are neck and neck, head to head. They are trying to scale that wall, but it has been Kristen who has gotten over the top a little bit easier in the last couple of times. They are both getting over the wall.
And Kristen Clever will touch the ground first. She's very proficient at these overhead squats, as we will see here shortly. I wouldn't be surprised to see her bang out 21 in a row. There's Jessica Paymanian at the bottom of your screen with Julie Fouché right next to her.
And this is a great shot of Annie Thorisdottir and Kristen Clever right behind her. Again, just as you said, Justin, getting those squats out, and the only issue with that judge could be opening the hips at the very top. He's called her back for some reps already. Kristen Clever has not put that bar down since she picked it up.
And Annie does set it down. She will not be able to go unbroken, so the judge says, hey, I want you standing up straight at the top. Make sure that your hips are opening. And there's Valerie McKenzie-Volbero reaching a good depth on that overhead squat. You've got to have pretty flexible shoulders there, Marty.
And all of these athletes appear to, and there is Kristen Clever again getting to the top. Very slick, these walls. A lot of people have been running up and down them all afternoon. And again, every time Kristen Clever is deciding to jump from the top, a quick hang, and not too worried about the shake because there's not much to be had. So she's just getting at it. Chin actually dropping to the ground as she reps out each and every one of those push-ups.
2 minutes remaining of a 5-minute time cap. Once again, just to remind you folks at home, traditionally in CrossFit workouts, if you don't finish, you don't get a score. That's not been the case this weekend because these athletes do get credit for every single rep that they complete. So when the time runs out, they'll add up their score and they'll be ranked accordingly. So, however, up till this point, the person that's done the most amount of work in the first 2 heats for the female has been 2 complete rounds plus 4 push-ups, and it looks like Kristen Clever is well past that point, on her way to completing her 3rd round of push-ups. Valerie McKenzie-Volbero trying to get as much shade as she possibly can as she's completing her push-up portion, and Christy Phillips trying to go around the wall. Her judge says, nope, you got to climb it and get over that way.
15 for Chris. 7 for Annie. 1 minute remaining. 1 minute remaining.
Again, another instruction from the judge there. You have to lock out with these push-ups. There's no cheating here, and they've gone so far this time around at the CrossFit Games to ensure that there is no lack of range of motion. That you have to lift your hands off the floor for this to count as a full-blown push-up. And there's Jessica Paymanian. It looks like a long way down when you're up that high.
Sure does. It's 12 feet up there.
27 for Chris.
27 for Kristen. And 30 seconds to go. We'll see which athlete can get over the wall and get a couple of those overhead squats. This is the top time so far, and Kristen Clever has completed the most amount of work, more than anybody else in the other 2 heats, more than anybody else in this heat, especially if she can get one more of those overhead squats. And with 5 seconds left, 4 seconds left.
She does not know what lies ahead, so she's trying to
she does get one. She does get one. Wow, extraordinary effort, extraordinary effort. So she'll, even up till this point, she will for sure retain her #1 spot heading into the second portion of this.
Grab a bar and touch the same bar you're holding on to with your toes. Move over to that bar. 21 ground to overhead anyhow. 3 round, 7-minute cap. 30 toe to bar, 21 ground overhead, 3 round, 7-minute cap. 3, 2, 1, go.
And they are off. The second portion of this event has the same kind of a theme. It's 7 minutes. They have 3 rounds to complete a couplet. And the couplet is 30 toes to bar. And then
Annie Thorisdottir loves sorry to interrupt you, but we just had a quick picture of Annie Thorisdottir, again, working right next to Kristen Clever. And they are just cycling through these toes. They each have 10, and they were just a few seconds in. There's Kristen Clever, and now watch Annie Thorisdottir just booting that, the pull-up bar.
And she actually had those in her regional competition. I remember seeing on a video on the main side, she had to do a workout with toes to bar, so she's very familiar with that in competition as well.
this is head-to-head competition at its very best. They are side by side on your screen. They are side by side in the competition. And Christy Phillips there on your left in red, Mackenzie Vogerill on your right, and knocking out a few of those as well. And it looks like Mackenzie is, in fact, the first one walking over to her weight.
That's right. She's dressed in the green right there in front of us.
Valerie McKenzie back to over the bar first.
She can go ground to overhead. She's the first one to get there. She can snatch it. She can clean and jerk it. She can clean it and push press it. She could even shoulder press it if she'd like to. It looks like she's doing a little bit of a snatch, a power snatch.
Chris moving to her bar.
Kristen Clever moving over to her bar. We just heard from Dave Castro. Annie moving over to hers. And of course, let's not forget of the person who is in the lead right now, Valerie Mackenzie Vogerill, who was the very first off the pull-up bars and is in the lead right now in the ground to overhead. But that might not last much longer the way Kristen Clever is moving that weight overhead. And again, completely different styles. You have Kristen Clever going with a snatch style, power snatch style, and you have a clean and jerk.
That is probably the first time we've ever seen Kristen take her shirt off.
12 for Valerie.
And she is just power snatching those up. She's a very proficient lifter. She likes the Olympic lifts, and it's more in her wheelhouse to do this. There's Christy Phillips in red, still working on her toes to bar. Kristen Clever right in front of us, with Annie Thorisdottir behind. Annie's got a bird's eye view of how far Kristen has progressed in this round.
15 for Chris. 18 for Valerie.
So as we pointed out again, very interesting, the mix of styles here, and we are looking at Kristen Clever, who's using a power snatch and getting the bar up very efficiently, and we've got the clean and jerk, also extremely efficient. We're seeing that done right there over her shoulder by, and Valerie was using a snatch technique, and we had Annie Thorisdottir using the clean and jerk, and there's Valerie.
Wow.
And this is absolutely no problem. She's probably been hoping for this to come up. And knocking out a few here. We thought that Camille was fast, but that was speedy indeed.
It was, and it was very efficient. And look at the way that Kristen Clever is banging those out. And she's going to jump off, chalk up her hands, and hope to get back on that bar. Here goes Valerie on your left, and Kristen on your right. Both athletes breathing a little hard at this point, and understandably so.
This is the final heat, of course. We are watching the top athletes in the world, the fittest athletes in the world, going head-to-head here, and they still have yet one more event after this one, but this will certainly decide who takes the prize for the 2010 CrossFit Games. And your three top athletes right there, 1, 2, 3. We're looking at Kristen Clever, and in the precisely the same frame, Kristen Clever and Annie Thorisdottir just to the left. Valerie Mackenzie Vogerill, who continues to rep out those toes to bar.
And we're less than 3 minutes, about 2.5 minutes left in this workout. The current round to beat coming into this event was 1 complete round, plus all 30 toes to bar and 15 ground to overhead with that 65-pound weight. It looks like these athletes are going to beat that. They have a little over 2 minutes in which to do it.
You could see as many as 3 of these athletes beat that, perhaps even 4, the way the pace is right now.
And Valerie only has to do 16 ground to overhead, and she will outdistance that previous record that was set in an earlier heat.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
The crowd really getting into it. You can
both on
in the background.
This is a great shot, and
it really is.
That was a smile on Kristen's face because they both swung at exactly the same time, and probably felt a little strange. And we have Valerie about 45 seconds ahead of where they were in the last heat.
And Kristen Clever now joins her fellow competitor Valerie with a 65-pound barbell.
Both of these athletes could beat the high score, the fast score from the previous heat. And Annie Thorisdottir, don't write her off either. She only has a few more of the toes to bar.
8 for Valerie.
Looks like we have 3 athletes who are in a position to completely obliterate the rounds to beat.
So she's got a minute to win it. And
1 minute remaining.
And look at those styles side by side, powering them up. What a fantastic picture this is. Snatch style, clean and jerk style, both of them perfectly efficient in their movements. Both of them really getting a lot of work done there.
12 for Kristen.
13 Valerie.
13 for Kristen. She just caught the leader, Valerie.
14 Valerie.
14 Valerie. We've got ourselves a race. 14 Kristen. 15 Kristen.
Valerie, 15, 30 seconds.
I think that Kristen is...
And Thorsdottir is very close as well. She's not putting that bar down.
17, 18.
Wow. They did beat the previous best time with... They still have 15 seconds left to work.
21,
And Kristen completes 2 full rounds.
Let's see if she can get a couple of these in. She is taking it. There's 3, 2, 1.
Time.
Wow. It looks like Kristen really wants that title of the world's fittest female, and she is well on her way to establishing herself as such. They only have one event or one portion of the final
30
event
seconds
left.
to go.
Burpee wall jumps. All the way down, chest touches, up and over. That's 1. Chest touches on the other side, up and over. That's 2. 5. 2 rope ascents. That's 1 round. 3 rounds, 12-minute cap. 3, 2, 1, go.
And they are off. The instructions are brief. No time to ask questions. And we see Kristen Clever jumping over that wall. She's a shorter competitor. Annie's a taller competitor, yet Kristen is beating her on it. And a great overhead shot.
A fantastic overhead shot. You are looking directly down at the stadium floor at the Home Depot Center as 6 of the fittest women on the planet go head-to-head to decide who walks away with that singular title. And we have Kristen Clever very far in the lead. She is at the top of your screen, continuing to fight head-to-head. Battling on that particular wall with Annie Thorsdottir. And as we continue to go down in the green headpiece, that is Valerie Mackenzie Vobero, who did a fantastic job. And we have on the rope already, we have Kristen.
And I just have to say, I think that the programming this weekend has been excellent. I think it has succeeded and exceeded anything that has happened up until this point, and it's really succeeded in establishing who the fittest person is by providing well-rounded workouts and well-rounded tests to establish somebody that has generally physically prepared.
That's a very, very good point. And you can have this debate with all sorts of people over who the fittest people in the world is, whether it's a triathlete, whether it's a decathlete, whether it's a marathoner. Bring any one of those people in here. Show very fit people indeed in their own way, but bring them into this stadium floor with this apparatus and give them the challenges that these people have been faced with, and 30 seconds to think about it, and then set them off, and we'll see who does what.
And that's real life applicable. I mean, sometimes in life you don't know what's going to come up next. And you just have to go and be prepared to do anything on a moment's notice. And that's very much the way that this workout is playing out too.
And you make a very good point, because when I'm fighting crime in my costume, I do a lot of scaling with my ropes and my utility belt. And you never know what sort of situation I'm going to find myself in.
Marty, just what exactly does that costume look like?
Well, if I told you, that would be the jig would be up, and I wouldn't be able to continue to fight crime the way I do. And we are looking at Annie Thorsdottir, a lot of support right there behind her.
I didn't think you had any crime in Toronto. Perhaps that's because you've been doing your job.
Not since I got there, anyway. And, of course, the crime rate has gone down in Carson as well since I've been here. And we are looking at Annie Thorsdottir. You were looking at the Icelandic flag just behind her. Her supporters right there in the corner, picking the right spot to watch this event. And we are looking at Valerie Mackenzie Vobero having a tremendous afternoon in this incredibly difficult workout. She was so excited after the last workout earlier today. Thumbs up on that. But again, this is the hardest part perhaps of the entire weekend. And some of these athletes stalling within literally spitting distance of that top of that rope. And I mean spitting distance, we're talking half a foot, we're talking 7 inches, maybe a full foot, but right there. And Christy Phillips very close to the top. She wants to lock her feet in and make sure it's there. And again, she didn't get it. And
Oh, not only that, burned the hands, but she hit awful hard. Now the score to beat, the rounds to beat, is 2 complete rounds plus 1 rope climb that was set by Rebecca Voigt, who is team members. I shouldn't say team members really, but goes to the same affiliate as Kristen Clever there. Those 2 young ladies are going to chalk up. Kristen Clever on the left, Annie Thorisdottir on the right.
Annie and Chris both starting their first rope.
Big jump. That was beautiful. She wants to get up there and wants to get up there fast. Christy Phillips, though, by the way, standing up just off your screen. She looks good. She looks strong. Not injured coming off that rope, so she is going to give it another try. But we're watching Kristen Clever right now.
Annie
wow.
won. Chris won.
There goes Annie. She thrilled the crowd last night with her first place performance on the sandbag, where they had to move sandbags all the way across the stadium.
1 more for Chris, 1 more for Annie on the second round.
Okay, so they're 4 minutes and 25 seconds into this workout. There is a cap of 12 minutes. So far, we have not had a female athlete complete this workout. We've had 3 men in the second heat, but no women up to this point.
If it's going to happen, it has to happen in this. Annie appears to be taking the lead. She has a lot of height and a lot of women on the rope right now. We're looking at Christy Phillips also make her way up, but this is the battle that matters, and it's Annie Thorisdottir. She hits the top,
wow.
And you don't want to stall out at the top. We've seen that again and again, but that hasn't stopped Kristen Clever. She's making her way down.
1 more round for these 2 ladies.
1 more round for these 2, and they have enough time to do it, if only just. It took them 5 minutes, being relatively fresh, to get those first 2 rounds done, and they are back at the wall.
But Marty, even if Annie does take first in this portion of the workout, this is scored separately, but will it be enough to close the gap and overtake Kristen? Not when she's taken first in the previous 2 events.
Great view of these 2 athletes on opposite sides of the wall, and trying to battle each other and battle the task at hand. And we are watching Julie Fouché getting up the rope very efficiently.
Wow,
again,
that's
one
cool.
of these athletes with a gymnastic background, very confident on the rope. These gymnasts start
She's
using
using
the rope
her feet in a different way, it looked like. It was hard to tell. But there's Kristen Clever right there.
Annie's done. She has 2 rope climbs.
Very efficient way.
Wow,
that she
Annie
was
is pulling ahead.
Annie is pulling away.
6 minutes into the workout, halfway in the time limit that they've been given, but I think they shall definitely finish this workout. She only has to climb that rope twice. The previous best, established by Rebecca Voigt in the preceding heat, was 2 rounds and 1 rope climb. Annie yelling at the crowd. They like that, and they're cheering. She knows she's going to do it.
And supporters from all over behind both of these women who are on the rope right there. You have Annie Thorisdottir. Just out of the screen is Valerie McKenzie-Vogerl, and a lot of support for her as well. You can see an Icelandic flag, or you could just a few moments ago. Annie Thorisdottir has just got another rope climb done. She has to get down to the bottom. Think about how long she needs to rest to get back up to the top.
And in true warrior fashion, Kristen probably knows, and I don't know what the scoring is, but she probably feels like she has this competition in the bag, but she's not letting up.
Well, she has no idea how any of the other competitors have done. None whatsoever.
Yeah, well, that's a great point, and I forgot about that.
She doesn't know what the standings are, and she wants to ensure you want to win every event. That's what every one of these athletes wanted to do. Nobody's sitting on their hands. Kristen Clever, here we have Annie Thorisdottir and Kristen Clever head-to-head. They are no more than 6 feet apart, going 20 feet up on these ropes.
Man, the crowd's really getting into it. Everybody's on their feet.
This will be Annie Thorisdottir winning this event and winning the entire afternoon. And they both touched at the same time. What an incredible performance by the 2 top athletes coming into this particular event. And they look to remain the 2 top athletes at the CrossFit Games. Of course, Kristen Clever is not done the event. She still has 1 more rope climb to make, so well ahead of her competitors. But nobody else leading into this had even completed the event.
1 more rope climb for Chris.
And Annie just won this last couplet, but we don't know who's won the overall event. But by doing that and finishing this workout, that definitely helped her in that race for the title of the world's fittest female.
Of course, all three of the events that we've been watching for the past few minutes this afternoon, all of them will be scored as separate events.
Wow.
And Annie took the last one.
Julia's quietly been putting together one heck of making it a race and putting together one heck of a workout. 5 minutes left.
7:47 for Chris.
7:37 for Kristen Clever. She finishes the workout. She finishes her 2010 CrossFit Games. All that's left is for her to cheer on her fellow competitors and wait for the results.
And she's on her way down there. There's Julie Fouché.
She knows how to use her feet to clamp it off. She's doing it differently than all the others.
Looks like she's doing it kind of with her knees there.
She loops it around the bottom foot and uses the top foot for leverage and pushes out on it, and it creates almost like a slip knot effect on for her to hook her weight into, but her top foot just missed there, and she touches the top.
And I think that Valerie McKenzie-Voberil has the time to finish this workout too. The winning time completed by Annie Thorisdottir, 7 minutes and 34 seconds. We're at the 9 minute and 34 second mark.
Julie Fouché putting together an incredible workout. We're now looking at Valerie McKenzie-Voberil as well. Julie Fouché has done the workout as well.
So 3 women out of the 6 have completed this workout. Interesting, because up until this point, none of the previous women completed the workout. And Annie up in the stands with some fellow supporters. And these athletes did not get here on their own, Marty.
No, that's for sure. She's on her phone, probably to Iceland, no doubt, where it's very, very late, where friends and family are watching on online or at their gym, the boot camp gym. And if I could send out greetings in Icelandic, I surely would, but unfortunately I can't. Of all the languages I speak, that's
being the Renaissance man that you are,
I've always had trouble with that one. That one and Basque. Those are the 2 languages I tend to have the most difficulty with. And we are looking at Valerie McKenzie-Voberil, pardon me, Christy Phillips, trying to get this workout done as well. Jessica Pamanian as well is still on. And that is Valerie McKenzie-Voberil finishing off this incredibly hard workout and the amazing weekend that they've had here. Congratulations all around.
Yeah, competitors right there close. It doesn't take them long to get over there. And congratulations to those 3 women. Incredible weekend of competition for them. And you see Jessica Pamanian and Christy Phillips. Christy Phillips still on her ascent. It looks like, I'm not sure how many she has, but it sounded like, according to Dave, Jessica had 1 more.
And we have Christy Phillips, and we have someone down in the corner, Jessica Pamanian, being comforted, it looks like, by Annie Thorisdottir. And of course, we still have athletes continuing to work.
She's saying, come on, you can do it.
20 seconds.
We have 20 seconds left in the workout. We have Christy Phillips trying to decide whether to just do a couple of pulls. Get part way up, 10 seconds. And she decides against it. She is not going to get it done.
3, 2, 1.
Wow. Incredible.
The crowd is on its feet.
The crowd is on its feet, and everybody can appreciate this effort that these women put into this workout. Hugs all the way around.
Crowd on its feet because they've just seen the fittest female athletes in the world go toe-to-toe out there in the hot California sun to decide the fittest in the world.
Kristen Clever, best amount of work on this workout.
Okay, we'll take just a moment while the judges and volunteers swap out the equipment. They need to bring in 95-pound barbells rather than the 65-pound weights that the women used. But it's a quick changeover. Back in the seclusion room, well, there's some highlights of Annie Thorisdottir scaling a 12-foot wall. Kristen Clever right next to her. As they get through those overhead squats. A little bit of toe-to-bar action from Valerie McKenzie-Voberil, who was very fast on that.
What an incredible competition this was late in the afternoon here in Carson. The audience, they got what they paid for in spades. It was head-to-head, toe-to-toe the whole way through, and came right down to just one touch here at the top. What an incredible shot that is, and that is Annie Thorisdottir taking that particular leg of the event. And here she is, in fact, I think, finishing it off.
You're exactly right, Marty. They went toe-to-toe, and neither athlete backing down, and just an exciting race. It did fulfill the expectations. In fact, probably actually exceeded the expectations. People over there congratulating both athletes. Actually pull her into the stands.
That's because the entire family is as healthy as Annie Thorisdottir. That was a one-handed pull.